Hi everyone, Anthony Fantano here, internet's busiest music a nerd, and I hope you are doing well. This is a bit of a follow-up to the track review that we just did over the weekend, before the weekend really started, of this new Logic track intro. And I presume as a result of this single dropping, there will be an album on the way. New Logic, more Logic. As I have already commented, the retirement did not last that long. The retirement was more like a vacation. Now, in the midst of this retirement, Logic stayed fairly active, whether it was releasing beats, streaming on Twitch, putting out music under a pseudonym, under a different artist moniker, Doc D. He also came out with some pretty cool material with the one and only Madlib. But one other thing happened over this course of time, as many of you may know. Logic and I sort of formed a bit of an acquaintanceship, a buddy friendship, long distance friendship, I suppose. And after having done this, the question remains for a lot of you, and also even for me to an extent, am I going to review his new record? And if I review his new record, am I going to be honest about it? Well, I can say unequivocally right now, I am most likely going to be reviewing this project, and I don't really feel like going into it I will have too much of an issue being straightforward about any apprehensions or issues that I have with it. The first reason being, despite Logic and I being so close, maybe to the outside viewer, I had no idea this comeback was happening. I was not warned of this comeback. I was not notified of this comeback. Logic had expressed to me at one point about maybe doing music under a different name, which he kind of ended up doing with the Doc D thing. Outside of that, there was really like no talk of like, oh, hey man, I'm coming back. And considering that releasing an album of any sort, commercially anyway, would, sort of require me to have some kind of talk about it, I don't know, that discussion never came up. That was never sort of brought to my attention. Now, I'm not trying to assume any kind of like nefarious intent here on Logic's part, because look, that man is his own man. He's living his own life. Of course, he is allowed to come out with any music that he wants to, with any label that he wants to at any time. He has no obligation to me to release or to not release music, of course. Any expectations of the sort would be ridiculous. And I've also talked with him, and he's expressed to me multiple times, more times than I would have even liked it to have been expressed, honestly, that when I do talk about his music, or if I do talk about his music again, he wants me to give my honest opinion and so on and so forth. So I don't know, in a way, if I ended up hating his record, and I did not say that I hated his record, as much as maybe there would be some emotional tension over that, I would feel like I'm letting the guy down. So due to my personal physical distance from the man himself, the process behind making this album, and explicit requests upon explicit requests to be as honest and as forthright as possible with whatever my feelings are on whatever music he happens to drop, I think that I should hold up my end of the bargain here, meet the expectations of not just him, but also like my audience, because I've had a relationship with my audience longer than I've ever had a relationship with anyone in the music industry. The relationship I have with my audience trumps that of any relationship I have with anyone in the music industry. And I guess to tie it all up with a final thought here, I got to be honest, as just a general listener, but again, also as somebody who through the internet anyway, knows the guy, I feel a little baited and switched. Now, ultimately, did I think that Logic was going to come back at some point? Yeah. Probably. I mean, that was pretty clear from the outset, because the guy is still pretty young, pretty talented, and there's no reason to let all of that go to waste, especially when you're performing and creating at a level where you have commercial outlets and labels like desperate to work with you and do stuff with you. Like, obviously, I'm not advocating that he or anybody like sell their soul to the industry and just do, nothing but drop commercial music all the freaking time. But, when destiny's calling, I guess one more thing that puts me at ease is, I don't know, through discussions that I've had personally and publicly, as you guys kind of, watched the interactions that Logic and I have had on Twitch, he seems like at this point that he knows that each of us just kind of has a job to do. Nobody has anything against anybody. Nobody's doing anything in spite of anyone. We're just both doing what we do. And going into this new record, whatever it's going to be, that is mostly going to be the mindset that I am in. So I don't know. I think that's all the thoughts that I have on this as of right now. Make sure to leave yours down in the comments if you have any. And yeah, you're the best. Love ya. Anthony Fantano. I'm back. Logic. Intro. Return. No more retirement. Forever.